What's up, YouTube? Um, I just want to make a quick video. This goes out to neurodivergents like myself. Um, this is going to be a big world changer and game changer for everybody. Um, so I really need to just explain what this is as soon as possible. So let me just cut to the chase. So this video is just going to be about the fact that making diamonds. There's two things I want to talk about regarding that. I mean, first of all, I want to say I've been wrong to say that I should be the one to make the diamonds. If anybody should make them, it's people who are neurodivergent, of course, since they'll believe it is possible, but have it be have it be them because, obviously you might say they're better equipped to do it, but think about it like this, they're better equipped to do it because they'll not make more of a mess of the materials and misuse them more because they're more intelligent than neurotypicals, but that's only in one way of better. Just because we neurodivergents are more equipped in one way to do it doesn't mean we're more equipped in every way. So realistically, if anybody should do it, technically sounds like neurotypicals, because following this logic, it's better that we do it because we won't make more of a mess of the materials. If you're smarter, you'll use materials better. There's no exceptions, but at the same time, we get to turn a perfectly good rock into a weaker kind of rock if we turn a rock into a diamond, because they're weakening the element. So take something we have that's perfectly strong near us, like a limestone, if we did, and turn it into a diamond, is weakening something in our environment. So if anybody's environment should be weakened substantially, it's neurotypicals, not neurodivergents, because we're more important. And if we're more important, then you could say we should protect our environment. And in doing so, it's more important that our environment is safe than less intelligent life forms. However, as I said, that's only in one way of better. It just depends how you determine what I meant by those words in the most recent time I was talking about this on the channel. However, I will say this. There's one thing that I definitely think that is for sure. You want to have like some balance between those two different kinds of better for the sake of making diamonds. So should it be neurotypicals or should it be neurodivergence? One thing is for sure, definitely shouldn't be me, since I'm the top neurodivergent. If anything, well, I mean, like I said, for the sake of handling materials, the most intelligent way would be me, in terms of understanding them. But in terms of, it would be at the cost of your environment. So I guess it really just comes down to what's more important, your environment, or, as it affects you, if it's weakened, or just how you handle your environment. And so yeah, I just think the environment is more important in this case. I think that it should be, could be me, but I don't think it's the best option. So I don't think it should be me to make the diamond. I think it should be probably just some neurodivergent who obviously smarter than a neurotypical. So you have the intelligence factor there. So they're going to use it better, but you don't want to have the environment sacrificed or become weaker for somebody who is the most intelligent. So just some neurodivergent, I would say, or any neurotypical you can get to do it that's just not the dumbest, definitely not the dumbest neurotypical. So if you want to make it balanced, obviously you could get a neurotypical to do it. If you if you have a friend that's a neurotypical, and just give them an incentive for the sake of doing it. But I'll say this. This is whatever you believe about it, who should do it. It's not really that critical, because something that I noticed is far more critical to all of this, which is that it turns out it's possible to make a diamond in a few seconds for free. So if you can recall, for the time of me taking scrap metal and experimenting with it to try to make precious metals, I did mention you can use a stove, miniature stove. I did mention that I have taken a penny and heated it up until it became brass. And this did not take very long. It took a few seconds. Well, it follows the same logic upon my observations recently that you could just take a rock in its solid form, has the right size of porousness within itself to hold on to microheat particles that are generated on a miniature stove. Within seconds, it turned into a diamond. Since copper was able to turn into brass within seconds, a diamond, same logic, turning a ordinary rock into a diamond around the same amount of time. So, it's just a small amount of accumulation to make such a change happen. You don't have to be at ridiculously high temperatures on your stove. So I've already went over how that works. So yeah, it is pretty obvious that following that logic, if any of my other experimentation didn't result in a diamond being made within seconds, but the rock got closer to being diamond over a longer period of time, then there must be some other factor that I haven't accounted for or noticed in my examination and revaluation of my results or my science experiments at home. So as far as I'm concerned, making a diamond is just something that can take more than a few seconds, but does not have to. I think it has a lot to do with air control. Keep in mind that I did mention that when I made the copper into brass on the miniature stove, it was done indoors. Indoors has better air control. There's, it can. I didn't have an open window. Didn't have an open nearby vent. So, don't think it takes that long. As far as I'm concerned, if it's done indoors, it'll happen quicker. So, the other thing is the Vevor, however you want to pronounce it, Vevor. metal melting furnace, electronic, that I talked about. You know, when I tried to turn rocks into diamonds in that one, I did talk about how it went. It's my first attempts at it, and you know, turned rocks more transparent. They became more transparent through several batches, as I've said. However, keep in mind that there's a hole on the lid for that specific contraption, so not very good air control. Even a small hole can have a rapid rate of air get in and disrupt the process, as long as it's cold air. So, as far as I'm concerned, has a lot to do with where you do it. Be safe in doing it, of course, as indoors. You know, there's a risk with how much heat is flowing off of a stove or steam. Be careful what it's flowing into. Obviously, it might combust. So make sure you have something that won't combust upon doing this. If you have a stovetop, the steam flows up, whether you live in an apartment or not, it flows up into whatever, whether there's wiring or not, and you know, you don't see it combust in most places, but you know, I mean, that's good fortune, and you know, that it doesn't, but it's always a possibility. So don't do it unless you know for sure that it won't combust. I just know that when I tried it on my stove, the sheer amount of steam did not combust when accumulating into whatever there was. So, but I think it's safe to say that with most ways that apartments or houses are built, if you were to cook on the stove and steam floats up, it will not float into anything that will really combust. People cook all the time indoors and do this, and then, you know, when have fires every day. For every household, you just have fires every day. Some households. So, yeah, it's pretty obvious that there's nothing really to you know, fear here. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say in this video. And good luck. Just try out what I said. Another thing I'm going to say before I go is that if you really have any doubts about this, try what I said. Try the electric stove. And just try it indoors. And like I did, put a copper penny, put a piece of copper, which you don't really need very much, on it, and see what happens. If it turns to brass, then you're in luck. And you know that the same thing will happen indoors for a rock. Turn into, it'll have a major element change within a short amount of time. I can assure you, if you try it, it will turn into brass if it's copper, and it will happen within seconds, as long as your contraption is in the right condition. Yeah, might want to inspect your contraption, make sure it's not malfunctioning. And if you don't know how to do that, you might just want to get someone to do that for you. But yeah, but that's all for this video. Thanks. Goodbye.